we find our nationality and serve that nationality, we'll do for ourselves what needs to be done.
Keep thinking it's games, you already know these beasts kill you on camera. Leave you niggas dead in the streets. You're still handcuffed and bloody, but no 911 calls. Bystander effect in full effect. So watching with y'all, mind blowing. Watching my people holding up traffic of innocent people. My people need to get their ass kicked. Marching and picketing is most cowardice and funkified. While dead bodies just multiply. Sisters killed in their cell. You claim it's hell, you raised and burned down your own community, not one police station. You love pork chops, but I see no police bacon. And when it comes to revolution, most of y'all are faking.
All ethnic groups in this country understand they got a nationality. Because you answer just such stupid words.
Black lives don't matter, but you still claim black. Rather film someone get choked out, but won't choke back. And the one that uploads first face charges trumped up. What do you think will happen when President Trump's up? More killing and murders of stateless herds. Hoods are concentration camps now, ghettos are birds. Gun stores short on ammo, they melted down church bells. Black seek shelter in temples, where God doesn't dwell. That's why a foreigner can walk in and shoot up the service. Praying to invisible gods, give you the curses. You pray to relinquish, that's none of my business. I suggest you nationalize with the quickness. I suggest you study law, stop with the bitch shit. In your face, I see them spray the pepperish liquid, then pouring white milk on your face. I thought that milk was the devil. Some weapons drawn the noise level. Boys, you rebel.
You answer just such stupid words as Negro and color and black. You have
The point that I'm making, blacks are mistaken. Call them highwaymen, not cracker pigs or bacon. Taking your tax dollars and riot gear, they relaxing. Cause in a black status, don't even think about a class action. Don't even think about rights being respected without getting injected. I see you infected. Then the same ones that violate the laws you re-elected. Your vote matters more than black lives, feel disrespected. Control the Negroes, looks tested and perfected. That's why about being black, I'm skeptic and left it. My people are tripping, walking with arms like panthers who got nowhere in the 60s, so that's not the answer. And black leader race war instigator puppets. Teach, kill those who killed us as justice. But have they ever killed? I think not. If they did it, CSA, nobody to show. Yellow envelope, money in escrow. Accounts overseas, not in democracies. Live in hypocrisies. It's all the jure mockeries, bureaucracies. Vampiric, but most can't hear it. It's only the attitude. The regalia is not clan spirit. Until my people wake up, your struggle for rights continue. And your children's organs end up on the elite menu. You love text but delete the messages. More send you with no status. You're in the jurisdiction and venue of the same beast system you attempt to defeat. Only as Moors will you get them on the heels of their feet. Of the same beast system you attempt to defeat. Only as Moors will you get them on the heels of your feet.
The name of the people must relate them instantaneously to land, history, and culture. And anytime you call a people by their right name, anytime you call the people, name a people, and fail to relate them back to land, history, and culture, you have called us out of their name. There's no black man or black woman. There's nothing wrong with the word black. Nothing wrong with it at all. Only relate to your country. The name of every people in the world relate to country. And once you think instantaneously of man, you think of nationality.
H2 flow, Chic, Canaanland, release for Shalon Davis, salute. Check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate. Referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound great. Study nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test fact. That's my hand in the form of a fleet on the chest, that's a boom that is
manifest like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a more that is easy to digest. Competent, never terrenalious. That is my land, never vacant. Secret, traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more. Refuel, please more. Following the apostles, we should read more. I see the unseen more, we more. That's a fact. Canaanland.
Say they want to learn, complain classes are too long, don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong, get it from the wrong source, now they way off course, think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports, should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks, won't be yelling harder when the bottles are uncorked, eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning, eating humble pie, no ego ballooning, Samson 2 caterpillars, got a cocooning as the full moon hung spiral energy moving, up through the crown chakra, energy shooting and told me upload classes before live YouTubing, 16,000 subscribers, 20% consuming, 80% troll pretending to be tuned in, comment on every video, pushing the thumbs down, we'll push the link when we live just like a clown, pouring in the incompetence, always debating, dissing Drew Ali but won't give their location, his image on the black banner, that's vacation, just get him out of here, Yusuf yells in frustration, we know they're playing games, we're not berating, calling 911, scimitars penetrating, in defense of prophets and mothers abused, and newly awakened Moors, amused and confused.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Case Cemetery, February the 4th day, Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day, independence alarm, makes it a little of a lost case, with case laws, we break them down like Jericho, keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho, I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio, fake pandemics announced over the radio, annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains, I rob base, mix it with rock the hard way, I was in a lost state, prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate, cooking like I'm soft.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Case Cemetery, February the 4th day, Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day, independence alarm, makes it a little of a lost case, with case laws, we break them down like Jericho, keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho, I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio, fake pandemics announced over the radio, annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains, I rob base, mix it with rock the hard way, I was in a lost state, prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate, cooking like I'm sorbet, rapping like I'm Denzel, Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J, Israel, and over you I lay in plain sight, the people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up, the stakes still high, so the race still going up, warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up, born in the manger, sworn to be savior, walk through the valley of the shadows of the death, if it's slavery, looking for life, the book of Genesis, astro plane entrances, invoke the nemesis, abstract images of past lives kicking in, danger, running for your life, finishing.
Morris Omar, key man or oracle, using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical, lost in metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic, facts like a dirty more or a Drew Ali Craig, calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved, or cut like a close shave, drowned in my brain waves, squashed by heat waves, activating Kundalini, Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini, Selassie I in exile, reptile in Genesis, Negars appearing real, all I see is false evidence, DA are feminists, stomped on by elephants, won't like more prejudice but want Moorish benefits, when you feel the cold magnetic resonance, Apis horns of the sacred book all maleficent, great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence, ace all the testaments, tap into remembrance, never to forget again, use energy right, not put spell effects on men, wandering the earth plane with no veiling shades keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades. Not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets. Holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Islam Moors. Peace and love to all Moors. Honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. So, for we okay in the chat. So you realize that Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, you don't see anything as a sovereign citizen, but it comes up in Google. You don't see anything in the Law Dictionary that gives you a definition of sovereign citizen. It's not in there. Right? It's not in there. But in Google, it's there. And no one is using a Law Dictionary reference to prove what a sovereign citizen is when they say that, which disqualifies them, and everybody should be looking at them as the scapegoat and throw them off the cliff. People want to play games. So that's the answer with regard to sovereign citizen. Take that however you want to take it, because it ain't. Brother Roldan, I don't have any state ID anymore. What does that mean for me? Look at it like before you satisfy your hunger, you have to cook the food. You have to cut the vegetables up. You have to, whatever you got to do to satisfy the hunger. That you're not satisfying hunger just because you thought about some meal. You're gonna put something to satisfy the hunger. But what you're putting in is work that has to be put into that. So we've been conditioned and trained that certain people are quote unquote the government. So everything has to come through them. As Aboriginal and Indigenous people, known as Moors, whether they come from South America, North America, Central America, or the islands, they're Moors because they're part of the Moroccan Empire. If they're from any of those land masses or any of those islands. The indigenous people have a right to self-identify. And Noble Drew Ali is the founder of giving you a nationality card. And nobody was giving you any cards about your nationality. No one. And he gave the nationality card so that you can proclaim who you are and take your place amongst the affairs of men, which the affairs of men are the Moors, because we had our own stuff going on. We're Aboriginal and Indigenous. We don't need these Europeans. If we have to deal with them, it's out of private necessity in order to assist the public, though. Not for our selfish self, like the church guys and the imam guys and the whoever else out there, Indian chief guys who have a mansion and their people are paying their tithes and they still got problems. And they're praying every night and they still got problems. And then they're praying and they're doing the holy water and they're doing Hail Marys and Allahu Akbars and everything else, and they still have problems. The identification that Noble Drew Ali presented was to get us out of the nigger state. Right now it's 2021. Noble Drew Ali was here in 1913. We're late. So, you saying you gave up your state ID, what do you do now, was immature. Now, if you never had state ID ever, then that's a whole different thing. But if you had the recipe to put these things together and make the healing potion that's gonna, save the world, and you lost the paper, there's no guessing or assuming. You're not getting certain things. So what you have to get is that we're behind. This is not something that you're jumping on it and everything's ready for you. This stuff's not ready. If you get in this, know that there's work to do. You better go check this first before you say you're gonna deal with this. I would suggest that you study this first with your state ID and all that stuff. Right, with it. And then start talking about doing some things. Because you have to know what this is. We got 3,000 videos. You think we're doing that to get masses? We're doing that because there's just so much info. The info's crazy. You can't avoid this. You can't escape this. But people choose to. People choose to avoid it. And it's great, don't get me wrong, it's great that you're here. It's great that you're at this place that you realize, hey, why do I want state ID or whatever like that? I don't need that. That's not a negative place. That's moving in the right direction. Especially if you're from this land and you've been taught all your life that you're, something else. And they told you that you're everything except, hey, you're from here. You're really the Indian. It's not these guys that are talking about they're Indians. It's not them. But the real deal is that it's Moors. It's not Indians. So right now, if you just said, oh wow, Moorish, whatever like that, or nationality, and then you burned the license and burnt the whatever and burnt everything, then you better start studying ASAP. Nationalize ASAP. And it's not a thing, well, where do I go? It's about knowledge. So we say, go to moorishdirectory.com and start studying. Go to rvbaypublications.com, start studying. And when you go on there, buy some books. Now go to khalifamedia.com and buy some books and do some studying. And get this knowledge in you. Well, I got 50 jobs and that 30 seconds that you have to spare, study something. If you got 30 seconds to study this, then take that 30 seconds and read something relative to this from one of them sites that he gave you, so you can get yourself in the right mind space before you start talking about IDs and having cards and all that, because these Europeans aren't playing, right? They're not playing. They're gonna kill their own. So don't think that you're gonna get away with some stuff. Right? What are you talking about? Leave somewhere. Do you know if they lock down tomorrow, everybody who left somewhere and went somewhere playing around like, oh wow, the stuff is open, we're gonna go wherever. You better know what's going on. You thinking it's party time right now? They open some border, so party time. Let's go somewhere. It's not go somewhere right now. If you're going somewhere, it better be to somewhere where somebody else that you know, that if they do say lockdown, you could at least chill there for 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, or whatever like that. Because these people are not playing games right now. You might not notice all the fruits are green, and you might not notice that all the vegetables are wilting in 2 days. You're not realizing that 5 times you went to the supermarket and that same thing on the shelf is right there in that same position. Nobody touched this in 5 days. How come nobody touched this in 5 days? You think these people are playing games? They're not playing games. And again, this is not just panic or whatever like that. Just, the boat has left the dock. It's just like when you're running. Sorry, sir, the gate's closed. We're boarded already, and you're late. Well, could you just open it? No. Yeah, well, the plane's still there. Yeah, we know the plane's there. It's going to be there for 20 minutes, but you're not getting on. You're late. So you either spend the finance, go get a connecting flight or whatever like that, or you call a loss and go home. Because if you don't have that straight, nothing is going to work. If you don't know, if you think this is about somebody said something, or I heard this guy in a lecture say, so I'm going to go over here and do whatever, you need to go study some more. You better hold on to that state ID and birth certificate and all that stuff. And don't go cashing in no birth certificate, no bonds and any BS like that either. And don't go authenticating it and all of that stuff. Because the only reason that you need state ID is, or any type of ID, is if you're trying to prove something. Other than that, if you never get stopped by the highwayman, why do you need a license? If you drove for 50 years and never got stopped once by them, did you need your license? If you never got in an accident ever, do you need insurance? How come you're just paying these guys to put some secret bubble around you so that you don't get in an accident? And then you don't get in an accident, and then they keep all your finance. They didn't give you back. They didn't give you anything back. You had clean record forever. You got nothing. You want to know how come our conditions suck? Because we're doing dumb stuff like that. Which again is part of why you need to study, so you can break the curse. Because these people have our minds. Not our minds. Our people's minds. Because they don't have my mind. Oh yeah, speaking about don't have minds. Oh yeah, this is good. This is good. Speaking about people not having your mind.
Platform to spread positivity and spread light on the things that matter to me, and I just care about our world a lot. And if I'm going to be demonized for that, at least let me go out on my own accord. You know, first things first, this isn't about me, and it's not about me dispelling, you know, what's being said about me particularly or for anybody. It's just saying, you know, I'm standing with all those that, you know, believe in what's right and are doing what's right for themselves. You know, everybody has a personal choice with their lives. You know, everybody has a right to feel a certain type of way. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. Everybody's entitled to do what they feel is best for themselves. You know, and putting me as a hero or painting me as a villain, sort of say, or going against the vaccine mandates, like that wasn't my intent at all. And to be sitting in this seat here and seeing, you know, the way that this is dividing our world up, you know, being vaccinated or being unvaccinated, you know, it's just sad to see.
You know, dividing the world up, that's segregation, right? Isn't it? Isn't it segregation? Isn't it stuff that people march up and down the place for to prevent? And then now it's here again, and you think that they're not playing you? They're playing you. Nationalize, get with some Moors, and let's do our own stuff. They have nothing for you. The store is empty. They don't have anything for you. You think we're out here 3,000 videos for kicks, telling people all these years? And then only because Moors before us were telling us, and then Moors before them, and then Moors before them, until you get to the Prophet. But what do we know? The analogy is that four men built the pyramids, one man on each side. Because when they made the call for, you know, let's build the pyramids, everybody was like, the hell are you talking about? Build what? Do you know what kind of blueprint you're showing me right now? What do you mean you're going to build this? You're not building this. The hell out of here. Same thing they did to Noah. And then water's up to their neck. Now they're banging on the door. This is what we say. If nothing else, free yourself and whoever wants to be free with you. If nothing else. Because that might be all that you got. You're thinking about some mass exodus of some BS. That ain't happening. Just like the Moor said, everywhere else in the world is third world, and everybody's coming back to the land of milk and honey. And then the Negroes, they want to leave and go somewhere else. Not realizing that this is their stuff. And then when they go to other places, that over there's their stuff. And it doesn't matter where they go or where they're at, they're home. Which is why, same thing why what they're doing to him, because he claimed that he's indigenous. And it's supposed to be truth and reconciliation and ride with the indigenous or whatever like that. And this is what they're doing to indigenous people. Not just him. Anybody classified Negro, Black, Indian, Cherokee, whatever. All of them are lambs to slaughter right now. All of them are lambs to slaughter. How do we know? How we know? Because we study. We know because we study. And we know that because of too many Blackamoors, Elizabeth I is about deportation and discrimination, and that stuff carries on today. That's going on right now with Kai. Right now. That's happening right now in your face. If they're talking about deportation and discrimination, they're talking about getting rid of the Blackamoors. That's code. It's not their opinion about something. This is a code that they are living by. If you claim that you're Moors, they're coming for your head. This is not church. Now, you have nationality and you think they're not coming for your head. Because the real public enemy number one is Moorish nationality. That's the real fight to power. The real fear of a black planet is Moorish nationality. Too many Blackamoors. What the hell does that mean? What does that even mean? Too many. What do you mean too many? What does too many Blackamoors mean? You think they don't know that they're the minority? And it's obvious. They even know, in their own words, they know. In their own words, they know. And like we say, right now, they're not going to tell you, they're not going to tell it to you like this. They're not going to tell you right now, right, that what he's doing, standing up for truth, and them taking the position of lock him out. Lock him out because he didn't do some shot whatever. But this stuff could be spread through vaccinated people, and they're at the game with no mask on, and there's no problem, and there's no everybody in the stadium drop down dead from going to the game. And then everybody else is complaining. How come we got restrictions and these people get to go full throttle? And then they're talking about open up stuff with nothing on the shelf. What are they opening up to do what? And then they send you down some rabbit hole, and then you're all the way off from where you're supposed to be, which is about the truth about your nationality, and that everybody wants to be you, and they're doing everything to deport and discriminate Moors. Moorish dancers ditch blackface for blue over racism concerns. So now they're not Blackamoors, now they're Blueamoors. Remember the Moorish dancers? The guys, when the black guys say, oh my God, the black guys are racism because they can't do that. Why they have blackface on? When this is the same people who are complaining, it's their culture. So since they didn't want their stuff, they went from blackface to blueface. Now they're going to say it's racist now? Because we know that there's blue people. Blue people are modern European. Just look them up. The blue people. Straight stole your stuff because you want to play Negro games. Locked you out just like they did Kyrie. Now you can't claim it. Only the ones that know. The future, these are the blue people who are some modern Europeans. But then when you really check it out, you realize that dark-skinned people have blue people too. And if that's the original and everything else comes from that, then with the blue face, they're still saying that they're Moors. With the blue face, they're still making the point all they did was change the frequency. The black face was too much. Remember, just go look it up. Morris dance. This is not some stuff that came yesterday. It's not some yesterday thing. Now let's go deeper than the blue bloods and whatever. Go deeper. Then they really say they're gonna go from blackface to blueface. Color blue meaning and symbolism. For people in high stress situations, adding blue to the environment can be very calming. Pale blue, in particular, eases anxiety, much as just staring at the cloudless blue sky. In metaphysics, the color blue is associated with the throat chakra and resonates with our ability to speak our truth gently and respectfully. Energy healers and light workers appreciate the color blue for its ties to insights from the higher self and the divine. In fact, it is an excellent hue to use when studying your faith, praying, or meditating. Blue healing crystals, celestite, angelite, lapis lazuli, help facilitate connecting to the angelic and divine realms. Blue brings harmony to relationships, always wanting to keep in some way, to help in some way. It energizes trust and quality living. Blue is one of the most favorable colors because it helps people feel safe. About the only downside in blue symbolism is that it doesn't manifest transformation easily. Blue rooms make people think deliberately, sometimes reveling in the past, trying to measure it against current circumstances. Code blue is used in medical environments when a patient needs to be resuscitated. This has to do with the body turning blue when deprived of oxygen. And so, blue color meanings can be associated with the crossing over, and is very likely where the saying feeling blue comes from. So don't think that they got away with something, or they're hiding some truth now because they're not in the blackface, they're in the blueface. They're still slapping you with it. They're still slapping you with it. Because you're looking at Blueface and you're thinking something. No, they use the blue to calm you down. Calm your Negro ass down. We're still the Blackamoors. We're still them. In 1596, Queen Elizabeth issued an open letter to the Lord Mayor of London announcing that there are of late divers Blackamoors brought into this realm, of which kind of people there are already here too many, and ordering that they be deported from the country. 1 week later, she reiterated her good pleasure to have those kind of people sent out of the land, and commissioned the merchant Caspar van Senden to take up certain Blackamoors here in this realm and transport them to Spain and Portugal. Finally, in 1601, she complained again about the great numbers of the Negars and Blackamoors, which, as she is informed, are crept into this realm, defamed them as infidels, having no understanding of Christ or his gospel, and one last time authorized their deportation. England was, of course, no stranger to strangers, nor to discrimination against them. As Laura Hunt Youngblood has shown, European immigrants constituted a noticeable part of the English population starting in the 12th century. Although they could gain some rights of citizenship, the crown taxed or restricted their residency whenever political or economic expediency warranted. Elizabeth herself repeatedly authorized the expulsion of immigrants, yet Elizabeth's orders to deport certain Blackamoors are in fact unique, for they articulate an attempt to put into place a race-based cultural barrier of a sort England had not seen since the expulsion of the Jews at the end of the 13th century. In justifying the geographical alienation of certain Negars and Blackamoors, the Queen sets them categorically apart from her own liege people. While she figures the English in terms of their national allegiance, she designates the Negars and Blackamoors as a kind of people, those kind defined by skin color, the blackness stressed by Negars and Blackamoors, and associated less inclusively with religion or lack of religion. Most are infidels. That is against the contrasting national identity of her subjects. She depicts and condemns Negars and Blackamoors generically as a race, a black race. A what race? A black race? So all these people who call themselves black are actually Moors. Remember, this is not Moors talking. Emily Bartels, Studies in English Literature, 1500 to 1900s. Emily Bartels. So the discrimination and deportation that we see going on right now is happening to slow down the activity of the Blackamoors, because there are too many Blackamoors in this realm, and they are not happy. To date, critics have only speculated about the identity of these subjects, first called Blackmoors and in the last letter, Negars and Blackamoors, and in efforts to underscore the racial politics significantly at issue here, have named them blacks, black servants, Moors, and Africans. As Nabil Matar has cautioned, these terms are not interchangeable, and while their use was indispensable in articulating race as a visible category for early modern as well as modern readers, we are now in a position to historicize these markers more carefully and to recognize their vagueness and indeterminacy. Exactly, Bartel. Had to be her. Who else is it going to be? Had to be her. Had to expel the Blackamoors. And then, like I said, they're good. They're even going to do it to their own. Honest to the Moors who study. Loudoun County dad smeared as domestic terrorists, says school covered up daughter's rape by a boy in the girl's bathroom. A Loudoun County father smeared as a domestic terrorist by a leftist school board association says his school district covered up his daughter's rape by a gender fluid boy in a school bathroom. Gender fluid. Gender fluid? What the hell is a gender fluid boy? What is that? What's a gender fluid boy? What is that? Who makes this stuff up? Who's making this stuff up? So all you parents out there, watch out. Because the gender fluid boys aren't girls yet. They could try to be a girl, but there's going to be problems because the psyche's already messed up. Right? Scott Smith, a small business owner in Virginia, was smeared by the National School Boards Association last month in its letter begging President Joe Biden and his administration to use domestic terrorism laws to punish parents who were fed up with the radical indoctrination of their children in schools. In the letter, the National School Board Association used Smith's viral June 22nd arrest at the Loudoun County School Board meeting to justify extreme action from federal law enforcement. As these acts of malice, violence, and threats against public school officials have increased, the classification of these heinous actions could be the equivalent to a form of domestic terrorism and hate crimes. That's where they're going. And remember, this is their own. They're doing it too. And you always see what they did to NFAC. It's King Alfred. All minority leaders will be unseated at once. They're probably at the 4th hour right now, and people don't even know what's going on. But they're looking for some tanks in the street to say that it's martial law or whatever, when they just had them home, locked in the house for a year. You know, we're talking about when's martial law Illuminati is going to do something. The boat has left the dock. You better get wise. You better get wise ASAP. Get wise ASAP. I don't care. Learn something. Just learn something. Just get your mind somewhere else other than where these people are sending it. Because where they're sending it is death and destruction. And I don't think you want to go there. Because you're not ready. You think this devil's something here that you're dealing with. You ain't ready for the other devils you gotta deal with. So you're practicing on these devils here right now. Do like what this European father is doing. Calling out the porn bus. Do what this European fathers do. Fed up with the system failing their children. You know, and it's not the teachers and all that stuff, it's the system. You know. The only way it's gonna survive is if you have sincere people running it. That's the only way. Other than that, it's going down with the ship. The U.S. Justice Department's Attorney General Merrick Garland announced last week that he would grant the NSBA's request and directed the FBI and state attorneys to address a disturbing spike in harassment, intimidation, and threats of violence against school administrators, board members, teachers, and staff who participate in the vital work of running our nation's public schools. You forgot? You forgot the stuff that we were supposed to been on, had our own schools and all that? I remember when we were black, we were talking about we should have our own schools. When we were black guys. Nothing? Are we having some fake HSBU BS? That's it. Historical black crap. When we already know black is not where it's at. That's not where it's at. Use your common sense. Use your reason. Use your logic. Oh yeah.
It's creating a lot of division, a lot of confusion. You know, a lot of people saying things that are untrue. We're not giving space for each other to speak. You know, you got doctors out here working hard, physicians out here working hard, and everybody's trying to do what's best for them and their families, which I respect. And I'm always going to put that first. You know, everybody out there, it's not, you know, listening to me or making this about me or painting this picture like, yo, I'm the voice of reason, so you should do this. Nah. Like, it's just about staying real and staying true to who you are and making the choice for you what's best. You know, everybody has their own family. Everybody has their own tribe. You know, everybody has their own issues or traumas that they're dealing with, trying to heal from, and I'm just trying to support as best I can. You know, I'm a hooper. You know, I've been a hooper since I was down there 4 years old, and you know, coming into the NBA, I just had a dream to play ball at a high level. You know, I didn't anticipate all this coming with it. But if I am going to be responsible for my own life, then I got to speak on things that truly matter to me. You know, I had to stop running away from using my voice and using my platform to speak on what's true and what's mine. Nobody's going to hijack my voice. Nobody's going to take the power away from me that I have for speaking on these things, and don't believe that I'm retiring. Don't believe that, I'm going to give up this game for a vaccine mandate or staying unvaccinated. Don't believe any of that shit, man. Like really be aware of what's being said before I even get a chance to be on the podium and speak for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these people saying all these things about what's going on with me, and it's just not true. Pay attention to what's going on out in the real world. People are losing their jobs to these mandates. People are having to make choices with their own lives, which I respect. And I don't want to sit here and play on people's emotions either. Just use logic. What would you do? If you felt uncomfortable going into the season when you were promised that you would have exemptions, or that you didn't have to be forced to get the vaccine.
What exemption you talk about? You got exemptions? You're blocking them from exemptions? Isn't that a violation of rights? How are they blocking the exemption? How come he was told he'll be exempt and then he's blocked out? That's why I say I should just use this and start their own league. See who leaves.
This wasn't an issue before the season started. This wasn't something that I foresaw coming, where I prepared for it, and I had a chance to strategize on what was going to be best for me and my family. I came into the season thinking that I was just going to be able to play ball, be able to use my talent to continue to inspire, influence people in the right way. Like putting this on me is just like, why are you putting it on me? This is not part of, what's going on in conversations with scientists, physicians, and doctors. I'm just a hooper, right? Like I'm just a person who's being utilized as an example. For some odd reason, people love to have my name in the mix of just some BS. Like, just hearing the way people speak with so much conviction about what I should be doing with my life and what, my teammates should be feeling about me, what the organization be feeling about me. And to be honest with you, if you really know me, and you see what I do out there, I put in a lot of time into my craft. I'm not sitting here to give y'all information, give y'all a whole bunch of, my wisdom beyond my years and knowledge. Nah, I'm just here to stay real. I'm always going to stay true to me, and that's me. This is my life. I get to do whatever I want with this. This is one body that I get here, one God body that I get here. And you telling me what to do with my body, and it has nothing to do with the organization. I'm going to put that out there. It has nothing to do with the Nets. It has nothing to do with my teammates. This has everything to do with what's going on in our world. And I'm being grouped in to something that's bigger than just a game of basketball. And, you got that fandom, which is like a religion to people out here. Basketball is like a religion. Entertainment is like a religion to people. They get so caught up emotionally. It's just like, yo, effing get vaccinated or just leave. We angry at what you're doing, man. And it's just like, nah, that's like, what are you talking about? I'm a human being. I have emotions. I have feelings. I have thoughts. Things that I keep to myself, things that I share. But I'm staying grounded in what I believe in. It's just as simple as that. It's not about being anti-vax or about being, on one side or the other. Like, it's just really about being true to what feels good for me. I'm still uncertain about a lot of things, and that's okay. If I'm going to be demonized for having more questions and taking my time to make a decision with my life, then that's just what it is. That's something I gotta sit in. I know the consequences of the decisions I make with my life. I'm not here to sugarcoat any of that. But if we really gonna be real, Like, it's crazy times we're in. It's crazy times. Like, how many people are really thinking with a balanced view? You know, how many people are really thinking about the future of what's going on? It's crazy times we're in. We just came out of one of the craziest pandemics of all time, and you telling me to think rationally. How many people are really thinking rationally? I'm not the focus here. You know what I mean? I got on here to really show that, like, I'm real enough to stand up when I feel like I'm being put in a effed up position. You know, like, I'm not even that. I haven't hurt anybody. I haven't committed a crime. I'm not out here acting dumb, stupid. I'm out here taking care of my family, my kids. I'm out here putting on for the youngins. I'm out here trying to create a legacy that lasts a lifetime, you know, like multiple lifetimes. And if I'm being called out on what I'm doing with my life, and I'm just living righteously, and I'm living for me, and I'm living for the people that love me and support me, you know, how is it that I have to be, you know, at odds with everybody, or people are coming at me? You know, I had to really sit back and think about this, and meditate and pray and ask God for the words to come on here, because like this is not normal. You know what I mean? Like, this is not normal. What's going on? This is not normal. And I'm not going to get too emotional on here either. I'm just thinking with my logic. You know, I'm just thinking for all those that are dealing with similar things that I'm dealing with. You know, you got to put your livelihood on the line in order for a mandate that you don't necessarily agree with all the way. Like, nobody should be forced to do anything with their bodies. Nobody should be forced to do anything with their bodies. Like, you only get one of these. If you choose to get a vaccine, I support you. If you choose to be unvaccinated, I support you. Do what's best for you. But that doesn't mean go around and start judging people for what they're doing with their lives. You know, like, I'm going to continue to serve others. I'm going to continue to be me. I'm going to continue to be there for people that need the resources, that need the information, or need access to different things. You know, it's big fights on. We still got violence going on. We still got social injustices going on. And to process all that and still go out there and entertain, it's not the easiest job. You know, like, I'm human. I feel all these things. I don't just go home and just be thinking about ball all the time. Like, that's not reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really not reality. If you go home and you only thinking about your entertainment or your job or what you gotta handle. You know, like, the reality is that if you truly connected to the source, to the creator, you're gonna care about others sometimes more than you care about yourself. You know, I love just people helping one another. That's always gonna be me, right? That's always gonna be. Some people don't feel the same way, and that's all good. I'm not here to go back and forth about that. But to continue to play with my name, you know, to continue to play with my image, continue to paint me in a certain type of way without me speaking, like, these dudes are puppets. Like, come on, like, you going on TV speaking about stuff that, you know, my family has to see. You know, my friends have to see, like, supporters have to see, and then I have to come on here and address all this in a certain type of manner because it has to come authentically. You know, like, it can't come with a script. These dudes read off scripts. You know, they calling me unintelligent, calling me all these different types of names, and they will never say it to my face. They will never, ever come up to me in person and say that type of shit to my face. Ever. Fans, anybody come up and say that to my face, like, because they know what I stand for. I stand for so many things bigger than this game, and right now it's not just about the game of basketball. It's about helping your fellow human being understand that they have a choice. You know, if you're staying safe, you following COVID protocols, you wearing a mask, and you're unvaccinated or you're vaccinated, you know, like, that's on you. Like, you should stand on that. But that doesn't mean going out and advocating for things for other people to do with their lives. Like, you can't be on both sides. You can't be like, yo, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. No, make a choice. Like, stand with everybody. It's all good. It's all good if you at peace, you know, with the world. But I'm not going to continue to be at odds with myself and my own beliefs and what I stand on because it's not agreeable or people don't see it as the right choice to me. You know what I'm saying? And I just continue to pray for all those out there that have lost people to the pandemic, to COVID. You know, I continue to pray for all those that are dealing with things in their lives that they can't handle it or don't have, you know, the ability to speak up, or they don't have the people around them to support what they're doing, or, you know, they don't have everything that they could possibly want, you know, to make an ideal life. You know, I'm very fortunate that I get a chance to go do a bunch of these to inspire, you know, countless individuals, but it's not just about this. You know, sometimes I got to be able to use my voice, use my mind, use my heart to let people know, like, I'm here as a beacon of light. You know, I'm here as a beacon to be used, you know, with God. I'm a messenger. You know, I'm not going to go beyond my means and speak on things I don't know about. But one thing I'm not going to tolerate is standing around while I'm watching, you know, people like do things around me that are very questionable. You know, if it was just about, you know, just ball or just about the craft, and that would be cool. Like, we had that conversation. But this is about real life and real choices that people are faced with. Thousands, hundreds of thousands, almost millions of people are deciding to be unvaccinated. Millions of people are being vaccinated. There should not be a divide here. We should be accommodated equally. We should be accommodated equally. There's so much that we can do for one another to help, but to demonize one another and judge and continue to point the finger and be like, yo, you should do this. Like, think about what that puts a person, what type of position that puts the person in. You backing them up against the wall to, you know, make a decision out of fear, out of having anxiety, or they just don't know. So I'm sorry that y'all had to witness like all of this being torn down around me, and I'm sorry that y'all, you know, you guys had to hear that I'm anti this or anti that without hearing it from me. It's a time where you just gotta really just say, yo, F this. I'm gonna say, yo, it's up to me now. It's up to me, and I'm always gonna remain safe around people, you know, because this is the times that we're in. We're in very, very, very strange, crazy times. You gotta think rationally. Use your logic, not your emotions. Everybody wants to speak from emotions. Everybody wants to speak like they know. Everybody wants to speak like they're conscious like they're woke. And this is the times that we're in. We're in very, very, very strange, crazy times. You gotta think rationally. Use your logic, not your emotions. Everybody wants to speak from emotions. Everybody wants to speak like they know. Everybody wants to speak like they're conscious like they're woke. And I've actually been that dude, you know, speaking consciously, trying to, you know, put my ideas on people and trying to. This is the times that we're in. We're in very, very, very strange, crazy times. You gotta think rationally. Use your logic, not your emotions. Everybody wants to speak from emotions. Everybody wants to speak like they know. Everybody wants to speak like they're conscious like they're woke. And I've actually been that dude, you know, speaking constantly, trying to, you know, put my ideas on people and trying to wake them up and trying to force thoughts on them. And that wasn't the right way to go. That wasn't the right delivery. You know, I can have my beliefs, but that doesn't mean I have to have everybody believe what I think. That I have to convince everybody this is the right choice. That's not the way to go. Like, I've said some of the dumbest things in my life. Like, I've made making those mistakes in the public eye, you know, and that's not always a comfortable position, but it is what it is, you know, and I'm responsible for that influence, and I'm responsible for my life as a mature individual. But I'm not going to continue to dance around, you know, these issues like it's not going on in our world either, you know. But I'm definitely not going to reservations, and they didn't have a chance to be able to make it out of this. And now it's time. Now isn't the time to be divided. Now is the time to come together even more so. You know, come together through respect, mutual love. You know, I respect all the doctors, all the physicians working hard, working diligently, you know, trying to find a answer to all this too. You know, like the times that we're in, I show nothing but respect to them. They're working hard to get out the information, working hard to make sure we stay safe, and I respect it. I respect them. And I love what they're doing, but now is not the time to be divided and use me as an example that I don't want to be used as. So I'm thinking clearly. I'm thinking logically. I'm not thinking with emotions. I'm gonna keep saying that because you gotta make these convictions yourself. Like I gotta make these myself. Because it's gonna continue to revolve around this and that, and you're gonna lose out on money and you're gonna lose out on this. Like, so what? It's not about the money, baby. It's not always about the money. It's about choosing what's best for you. You think I really want to lose money? You think I really want to give up on my dream to go after a championship? You think I really just want to give up my job? You think I really just want to sit at home and not go after the things with my teammates that I've been able to grow with, to learn that it takes sacrifice in this space? Because we could be easily at home chilling with our families, but we're choosing to go out there and perform. You know, and even in that job, like that's a dream come true. I've been working on that since I was in 4th grade. You think I want to give up my livelihood because of a mandate? Because I don't have accommodations? Because I'm unvaccinated? Come on. I'm not going to be used as a person in this agenda. You know, like I'm not even going to speak on that. I'm just saying, like, it should not be divided amongst all of us. It should just be understood and respected. And mind you, once again, I'm going to repeat, this is not about the Nets. It's not about the organization. It's not about the NBA. It's not politics. It's not any one thing that I'm pinpointing here. It's just about the freedom of what I want to do.
That's all they do. Too heated.
My passion, my love, my dream.
They were on him hard. They were on him.
And just be part of this whole thing. You know, like, this is not a political thing here. This is not about the NBA. This is not about any organization. It's really about my life and what I'm choosing to do. And I'm just grateful that I get to speak on this in this fashion because I had things written down. Like, I ripped out the paper, but I had things written down where I wanted to make sure I stayed focused on the points that matter. You know, so I'm praying for everybody out there that's lost somebody or that is dealing with this pandemic in some type of way. You know, and I just pray that we find clarity during these times. You know, and that's just where I stand. So, you know, hopefully all this can be figured out in the future, and you know, I'm able to play the game that I love and go after a championship with my team. You know, and be with my teammates, but also, you know, I have to stand with all those that are vaccinated and are choosing to go back to work, and they have a job to do, and I'm supporting them, and then also the unvaccinated that are being mandated to do this and are losing their livelihood. So we got to come together, you know, no more division. So peace and love to all y'all, man. Continue to serve the world. All right, that's from Kai, and nobody's hijacking this voice. And see if they play this on their TV channels, and see if they play this actual truth somewhere before you start talking about me and what I'm doing with my life. And no, I'm not retiring. And no, I'm not going and leaving this game like this. There's still so much more work to do.
There's still much work to do. Still. But honors to the Moors who've been doing the work. Honors to the Moors who put in the work. Honors to the Moors who would be doing the work moving forward. Thank you. Because without us, ain't none of this going on. None of this going on. People wouldn't be conscious and woke and all that if it wasn't for Drew Ali waking us up. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Peace and love to all. Honors to all the Moors. You already know prophet's the man. Stay true, Moors. Honors to all the mothers. Islam.